I'm Wayne Allen, root for personal liberty. This is my last commentary before Election Day, perhaps the most important day in modern American political history. It's the day we stop Obama and defend capitalism. My prediction is a Romney landslide. I'm calling this the Chick-fil-A election because Christian and faith-based voters will lead this Romney tidal wave that will shock the biased liberal mainstream media that never saw it coming. But first, I want to offer my prayers and best wishes to everyone suffering from the after effects of Hurricane Sandy. The Northeast is in crisis. My prayers are with you as you deal with the most destructive and powerful hurricane ever seen in the Northeast United States. This tragedy deserves sympathy, support, and prayer. Every American stands by your side and stands ready to help. Okay, back to politics. I've been predicting it since May 30th in media across the country. I doubled down in early October with my opinion piece right here at Personal Liberty. I tripled down with my appearance on the O'Reilly Factor about 10 days ago. On O'Reilly, I coined the phrase the Chick-fil-A election to describe the tidal wave of Christians and faith-based voters that will rush to the polls on November 6th with intensity and enthusiasm levels never seen in modern American political history. People hearing my predictions must have thought I was stark, raving mad, as perhaps you do right now. After all, most Americans have been bombarded with flawed national polls that base their election models on the once-in-a-lifetime 2008 Obama Democratic turnout. It's not happening this time. My commentaries weren't based on polls, by the way. I'm not a pollster. I'm a Vegas odds maker, turned vice presidential nominee in 2008 for the Libertarian presidential ticket. And now I'm a political pundit and analyst. My polls are my gut instincts. My subjects aren't 500 random strangers on the phone afraid to tell the truth to a pollster. My subjects are my diverse group of middle-class American friends, the kind who determine the winner of virtually every election. I've seen this political earthquake coming for months. While the media and pollsters talk nonstop about Romney's single female gap, I talked to married women and found them angry, offended, motivated, and mobilized to defeat Obama. While the media talked nonstop about Romney's black voter gap, I talked to white voters and independent voters and middle-class voters and found them angry, offended, motivated, and mobilized to defeat Obama. And not because he's black. Many of them voted for him in 2008 because he was black, out of guilt. But 4 years later, they're motivated to throw him out because he's either completely incompetent or a socialist. While the media talked about Romney's Latino gap, I talked to small business owners who understand up close and personal how terrible the economy really is and understand it's getting worse every day. Well, about 30% of my small business owner friends gave Obama a chance 4 years ago. They were open-minded. Today, I can't find one who supports Obama. Not one. And they're mobilized and motivated too. And then there's the group that liberals in the media either don't know or don't care about or simply don't understand. This group is mad as hell and won't take it anymore. I talked to Catholics and evangelical Christians and found them the angriest, the most offended, the most motivated, and the most mobilized of them all. From the seething anger that I witnessed, I predicted and predict a turnout of Christians and people of faith in numbers never before seen. Remember the long lines in front of Chick-fil-A restaurants a few months ago? I predict you'll see those same long lines in front of polling places on Election Day and even throughout this whole early voting period. Christians are sick of turning the other cheek and getting kicked in the gut while their values are denigrated and their country's destroyed. Christians will lead the conservative tidal wave on Election Day. They can't wait to take their country back from a man, Obama, that seems to despise capitalism, disrespects religion, never misses an opportunity to offend or damage our relationship with Israel, and fails to recognize the massive threat we face from radical Islam. Chick-fil-A was the subtle hint of what's coming on November 6th. I guess Nate Silver of the New York Times didn't notice. I suppose none of the New York Times reading, latte-drinking, hypocritical limousine liberals noticed the other big development of the past few days. Reverend Billy Graham endorsed Mitt Romney. That's huge. And he's supporting him with full-page ads in newspapers across America. Just another monumental development completely ignored or misunderstood by the mainstream media. Then came the shocking polls that confirmed my gut instincts. First, Gallup released its extensive poll regarding the makeup of the electorate in 2012. And for the first time in history, Republican voters outnumber Democrats. And independents, who form an enormous chunk of the electorate, are also overwhelmingly Republican. All the polls out there based on the 2008 Democratic turnout were based on the wrong election model, just as I predicted. Then Gallup released its findings of the early presidential voting. Shocking! Romney leads by 7 points despite Obama's vaunted get-out-the-vote machine. 7 points. That's 22 points better than McCain-Obama 4 years ago in early voting. Then Battleground polling released their bipartisan prediction of the final outcome of the election, Romney by 5 points. Keep in mind, this is a bipartisan polling organization headed by one Republican and one Democrat. Finally, Rasmussen released the poll showing Romney's leading for the first time in Ohio. The Obama firewall is disintegrating. I went out on a limb 3 weeks ago here at Personal Liberty to predict a 5 to 7 point Romney popular vote victory and an electoral landslide of 100 to 120 votes for Romney. I'm going out on a limb again. My prediction will not only be right on the money, but if it's wrong, it'll be wrong because I was a tad on the low side. Romney's already salted away 2008 Obama states like Florida, Virginia, Colorado, North Carolina, Indiana. States like Ohio, Iowa, Wisconsin, New Hampshire, all trending towards Romney. And Mitt has now extended the battlefield to states no one ever imagined. He's adding last-second media buys, TV ads, to deep blue Democratic states like Pennsylvania, Michigan, Minnesota. Obama's firewall's been breached, and the rout is on. Just as I predicted, just like Reagan-Carter, it took voters a while to make their decision, to make the connection between this horrible economy, the collapse of small business, the loss of jobs, and the man in the White House who's either Marxist or completely incompetent. Same economy, same circumstances, same fool in the White House, same decision as Carter. It's Obama that needs to join the unemployment line, and Americans have finally seen that light bulb go off above their head. By Election Day, with the momentum all in Mitt Romney's favor, I believe deep blue Pennsylvania will go red for Romney. Michigan and Minnesota are also within reach, and I think Romney will grab one of them as well. A Reagan-like landslide is now a very real possibility. And liberals should give the New York Times pollster Nate Silver, who's completely delusional, a gold watch and a retirement dinner. I'm Wade Allen for Personal Liberty. See you next week with a post-election celebration.